for the next decade, if not two. And that is essentially how I see it.
Interestingly, by the way, when you all know who the gentlemen are, and it's already been introduced, but if you realize it's a very nice mix of panelists. You have a leading operator with us, and just spoke about it. And you have Shwetank, who comes from the leading PropCo business, which is they own and they build hotels, right? And then you have Vikramjeet, who's getting into this business with a very new set of ideas, new set of deal preambles, with his new brand. So he would eventually run a PropCo and an OpCo business. And then you have Mr. Bhatt, who's also, from a timeshare, from a different kind of a business addressing the same industry. And again, it's if I may say, a PropCo blend. So it's important to know what these gentlemen think from their lens. Subin just told you about broader India perspective from, let's say, how an operating company looks at on the demand side, on the guest side, where will the guests come? How will this infrastructure help fill up these hotels? Let's hear from Shwetank, because he runs the biggest PropCo business of hotel real estate in the country. Now, that is a very different ratio, very different parameters, very different deal metrics, a lot of capital behind it. How do you see it, Shwetank? And tell us, how many more hotels which you're going to build, operate sooner than later.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me. Yes, you're right. Our lens is a bit different. Zubin would probably bring to the table. But, just before I start, this is the guy to watch out for. He's the only promoter on the dance, professional. So we'll die and wither away, but this guy will still be here. So watch out for him. No, but you can see here with the dress code. He's the dude. So,
हमें टाई लगानी पड़ती है.
हमें टाई करना.
Startup founders can't afford these fancy suits, yeah. So I come in a pair of jeans.
All I can say is, no, I don't want to speak for the rest of my colleagues on here. I wish I could be like you someday.
No, completely agree. Completely agree with what Zubin said. For the first time, we have a stable government and a government will. We have the demographic dividend that's sort of telling you that median age 27, we have a 32-year runway on the demographic side. So a clear demographic dividend coming through, which will drive the consumption. Very interesting data point I read today about how travel becomes a non-discretionary spend from a discretionary spend today at a tipping point of $3,000 of per capita income. Now that's a trend which is so interesting, because at $3,000, science tells you that it'll become almost a sort of a necessity for these people to travel and have those experiences. India today is at about $2,500, give or take, easily going to breach that mark by 2030 and double to about $4,700 by 2047. There's an infrastructure push that's happening from the government side. We know the ports is something Zubin mentioned. We are at about 150 today. We'll be at 220 by 2030. Again, something to watch out for. You start to put all of these data metrics together. On the corporate side, we are at a 15-year high on the profitability, and there's a clear correlation between travel requirement on the corporates versus their profitability. You start to put all of this together and you see how brilliantly everything is coming together in what I won't call a perfect storm, but a perfect push, a perfect tailwind for the industry. Clearly visible on the demand side. Demand is rising at about 10.9, 11%. Supply is coming at about 9.5, 9.6%. But in key markets where Chalet is present, for example, Mumbai, it's about 6.5. So, The best part, when you look at it from a PropCo perspective, is you can see the supply coming from a mile away. 4 years to 5 years to build a hotel, supply can't sneak up on you. There's no way supply can sneak up on you. There is a 2.5 million unaddressed market, which is non-tracked today, 2.5 million rooms. There's 180,000 rooms, which is tracked. Can that 2.5 come into the mainstream? Possibly. But these are small inventory, low cost structures, possibly not 100% compliant, difficult areas to get into. Don't want to talk about that on the stage, but can they then come into the mainstream? Difficult. So if you put all of this together, we are in a fantastic place. 1 decade, 2 decade, I am talking 2050. And if you are youngsters in the room, don't leave India, whether you are in this industry or any other industry. This is the place to be. That would be my advice.
ओपनिंग स्पीच में तालियां बज गई, क्लोजिंग में क्या करोगे?
Give or take few percentage points here and there, the optimist in me tells me that we're staring at anywhere between $15,000 to $18,000 per capita by 2047. So, and that, of course, is absolutely in sync with let's say what you stated, that our industry is going to transition from being a discretionary spend to a more how do I say, essential spend, if for lack of a better sort of word. Yeah, that's about it.
I'm liking this, that it is becoming like a drawing room conversation. Generally हम लास्ट में क्वेश्चन डालते हैं, हाँ किसी के पास कुछ है बताने के लिए तो बोलिए, यहाँ पे तो चालू ही ऐसे किया.
Really sorry.
Amazing. No, this is fantastic. Thank you for making it more lively. Harmeet, if you see, there's enough and more to do. He's given the numbers, mind rattling. Yeah, we were thinking हमारा briefcase खाली हो रहा है, अभी बेचना क्या है? But he says there's enough and more. So, ladies and gentlemen, at JLL we did, I would say, about out of those 3,000 crores worth of transactions, we closed about 1,250 crores last year. So we literally did majority of the work, and a lot of that credit goes to Harmeet, who's sitting here, who ran all those big transactions for us. So there is enough and more to do for all of us. Manoj, I'm coming to you because you again, and I'll come to the entrepreneur and the owner later, because the chairman की बात last में करी जाती है ना. So, Manoj, to you, because you run something in our hospitality world is a similar thing, but you run in a very distinctive manner. So you have a customer who's already, it's called a pre-built house or a post-built house. बाकी हम लोग होटल बनाते हैं, फिर सोचते हैं गेस्ट आएगा. आपका गेस्ट आ चुका होता है, फिर आप होटल बनाते हो. अभी यार गेस्ट बहुत आ गए हैं. We have lots of members now. Let's provide more avenues. So, from your lens, what Shwetank said and what Zubin said, what do you think the next, let's say 25, it's immediate, and then another 2 years?
So first of all, good evening to all of you. Very happy to be here. So I think I'll just change a few words in the question probably. See, so we are addressing the same space, right? So it's a different model. I think what we're trying to do is provide long-term visibility on cost for our members. And that inherently means that from our perspective, there is a relationship which is built over 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And I think I was following the previous panel, right? So we have all the data. So that's one of the biggest advantages we have from our model perspective. And what we are seeing there is 2 or 3 interesting trends. Of course, the first wave of growth came from tier 1. And what we are discovering as our membership grows, I think it is moving to tier 2, tier 3 cities. So I think there is this aspirational element of having a holiday in a nice place once a year, and we offer 7 days a year. That's something which I think the aspirational India, I think that's something which is playing out very, very strongly. Speaks of how our business is going. So that's number 1. Number 2, I think if you look at our model, it's always been about, we have prided ourselves on it, is we are creating destinations. So most of our resorts are usually I would say at least 2 hours away. We actually have created the destinations, and that really helps in a lot of ways from a perspective offering something very, very different from what most of the other uh, people are offering. I think that's been the last one is I would say I think we have always prided ourselves on the experience. So that's the family environment, the experience around that. I think those are the 2 or 3 differentiators. Now coming back to how do we see the market? I think the market continues. I think that if we look at most of our trends, and one of our things is our bond is blessed with very high occupancy because of the way we structured it. But even within there, I think I'll give you an example. We opened up a draft in last, that was 2 months back, and one was about 3 months back. Within a month, we are at 85-90%. What that means is people want choices. I think that came up in this one also. So I think today's market is the growth is there, but I think the differentiator will be the experience and the choice you're offering. And I think it could be destination choices because there is a growing demand for something different, something new. And that's something we try to build on. And to me, I think the facts about India growing, economy growing, economy is poised to be one of the largest in the world. They are all going to contribute to this positive kind of cycle. Uh, the model might evolve. I think we might be having talking about a very different model a few years down the line. But I think the demand trend is very, very strong.
So round one, demand continues to be strong. Visibility wise, it seems to be a positive story, at least for the next couple of years, probably more because of all the fundamentals that you just mentioned. Vikram, I'll come to you with a different spin. And I say this because you see, you've started on a new journey with your new brand. Congratulations on what you've done.
Thank
I
you.
remember when you met me and what you've done in that very short span, and when that runway, you basically took off the plane, right? So congratulations on that. But tell me, what is intriguing to me is that at times, when you see it from a distance, you see this may be a crowded place. There's so many brands. One company has plenty of brands, and then you will also add another brand to that. Is it a swimming? Is it like swimming upstream with a lot of bag and going up? Is it difficult? What was going on in your mind when you said that, listen, let me get out and do something distinctively in this space which may look cluttered? What was the thought?
So, Jaideep, thank you for your kind words. And so I don't think it's cluttered or crowded at all. There is room for 10, 20 more hotel companies like mine. Actually, not like mine, much larger than me. There can be 20 more mid-market hotel companies in this country. And trust me, they will still not satisfy the demand that we spoke about. Like Rohit in the audience threw some numbers which, which is basically what Jaideep should be doing. But but basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that there is an exponential increase that you see in hotel consumption in the next few years. It's a structural change. It's not cyclical. It's not seasonal. It's not 6 years of top of the cycle. It's not 8 years of bottom of the cycle. See, we are a population of 140 crores. 10%, 14 crore log today earn more than 1 lakh rupees a month. And how many branded rooms do we have in this country? Rohit, since you're good at giving numbers, want to take a guess? It's 2 lakh rooms. So 2 lakh kamre, 10% of India's population, which is probably what is consuming hotel rooms today. And when the big thrust in GDP happens and the economy doubles in 10 years, the consumption of hotel rooms will not double. It will be exponential. And in fact, if we go by China's example, and China was where India is today in 2006, I think the growth was 10x. So where are the rooms? So Jaideep, that's, my thought process. I don't know, it works. It backfires. I don't know. Time will tell.
It better works. The reason I don't throw numbers anymore is because all of you know everything. What do I tell? अभी आज आपने राहुल पंडित जी को नहीं बुलाया वरना हम बोलना ही बंद कर दिया।
वरना जयदीप नहीं बोल रहा होता।
Let's forget every other country. Let's just look at what Apple does. Apple cannot ever get wrong. Apple got into China sometimes when their GDP per capita was around 25. They've done that pretty much the same when we are where we are. Yeah, they're not. Little 25. And trust me, Zubin mentioned about airports, right? It is expected that 1 out of every 3 Indian in the coming decade is going to take airplanes. And that's why we have this 1,300, 1,500 airplanes for those, the airline industry, right? Net. But the hospitality industry, operators, vendors, right? This is a time to make money. Yeah, all the best to all of us.
Thank you. Actually, what I'm now going to say is out of syllabus. In a script में नहीं डाला था. So I see network here. And I see all the data that you gave and the positive scenario that you said. People was not on my syllabus because I said capital bathroom, etc. But I guess what you're trying to say is that you need so much more because there are so many heads which are coming to the beds. So where are the people? How do you do it? Now, Natwar, by the way, talking to him recently, he said, he's got about 1,800 kids that you have placed in 35 brands, right? Across 60 cities. This is industry's largest invested skill program. Outstanding. We need more networks to do this. और आप scale up करोगे 10 गुना? बताओ क्या करोगे?
My key request is that the competition is coming very fast. Just enter something about digitalization services. We are amazed. So I work for Table Space, I work for JLM, I've done some work for SILA. Salaries, that's my only caution, is that these newcomers are often double the salary for what. That's a wake-up call.
Thank you, Natwar. That adds a very important dimension to it, like we all know, because this is the software that we all need to run. This was kind of done. So when I come back to you with again, from an OPCO perspective, you see, I see in the last 1 year, Winton's working on some out of the box ideas. Spark is one of them. What is the thinking behind Spark? And what's that growth like? If you can just spend a little bit of time on that trajectory.
So, I think Vipin said it. Where are the rules? Where is the demand? Supply. The fundamental belief is that India is going to grow in terms of lodging markets throughout the length and breadth of the country. The 75 markets will become 150 organized markets. And today, India, if you look at number of small cities where you can have a hotel, it's actually north of 150. So the whole idea of Spa, when it is a brand which comes in at the right time, where the spending propensity of the Indian consumer is increasing, where the Indian consumer is coming from tier 2 to tier 5 cities, where the whole desire to travel is taking off as a movement, right? So Spark by Hilton is Hilton's entry into the premium economy segment. And what we have done there is we have tied up with our strategic partners, the Embassy Group, where we are working with them to bring in 150 hotels over the next 10 years. So out of those, we signed that. So we signed that strategic license agreement with them late last year, I think in November. We already have a very good number of properties in the pipeline that are coming up. Announce a number yet, but those announcements will subsequently come as we go ahead. But what I do want to convey is very strong confidence around how the Indian market has taken to this segment. So, we announced the Spark by Hilton platform deal with the Embassy Group. Then we announced the 75 Hotel Hampton by Hilton block with our partners Nile Hospitality. And then, over and above that, we have also been growing in the luxury and villa spaces. So signed Waldorf Astoria in Jaipur, then there was Conrad, which we signed last year in Jaipur. Then there are two Hiltons, which opened up. One Hilton opened up in Kathmandu, another Hilton now. We will be opening a Hilton in Hyderabad this year. We just signed a Hilton in Jaipur. DoubleTree taking the market by storm. With DoubleTree, which will open in Whitefield. DoubleTree, which opened in Whitefield last year, another one which opened this year. So on and so forth. So the way we are looking at it, is the market has enough bandwidth to absorb right from the luxury space right at the top and all the way down to the bottom of this value chain towards the premium economy segment, right? And our view is that India someday, and again, there are many brands now which are already, running into hundreds of units all across the country. So easily, I don't think scalability is a question at all. I think scalability will come in due course for us. We are set to actually double our operating pipeline in the next 2 years. So it is about building in quality across all the. See, India is a mid-market growth story. That is where Spark fits in. That is where Hampton fits in. That is where, by the way, you acquire the Hilton on its base, right, which will travel upwards through the food chain into higher brands. So, long answer to your very specific question, but I hope gives you the flavor of.
No, it does. And so then most of these are management contracts.
So Embassy will be growing the Spark brand in a territory in the south of India. There are 5 states under which Embassy Olive by Embassy is the.
It's like a master franchise.
It is not a master franchise, it's a strategic license. It's different. Master franchise is for the entire country, it's not for the entire. This is for 5 specific states in the south, and the deal itself applies to a certain development schedule and a certain opening schedule. So, there are those kind of milestones in this. Within those 5 states, Hilton will provide the Spark brand to Embassy, and then they will come in as the managers of those hotels with third party.
Thanks, Zubin. Vikram, holding on to this thought of the relationship between the owner and the operator. Now, I know you're doing leases as well, which is primarily leases. And what is the reason? By the way, we at JLL love leases. For us, that's a transaction, right? So the moment you have some guarantee of the
You
balance
answered
sheet,
the question. So for me to get invited to Jaideep's office for a cup of coffee, I had to do something different, and which is why I did leases, by the way.
you said that. And I was mind blowing. He said, that's what I'm going to do. That's why, so that you call me to your office. I'm not like that. I'm genuinely, very welcoming. Whatever you do, tell us more.
No, I told you the real reason, but I'll tell you the logic behind it. See, firstly, I was starting off. The brand wasn't known, and I had to do something different. There is everybody is going asset light. That's the mantra these days. So why would an asset owner come to me unless I don't guarantee him certain returns? So I had to do something different. Leasing is a hybrid approach. It's not asset heavy, so I'm not investing in the asset, but I'm taking the P&L risk, which means that I give every owner that I sign up with a minimum guarantee, and I give him an upside through a rev share, and he gets the higher of the two. So if there are any owners here, guys, I'm waiting for you at the bar after this. But so Jaideep, answering your question, see, typically, let me tell you, in a management contract, you make about 6 to 8% of the top line. If you do your leads well, you sign them smart, you will make 25% to 30% post lease rentals, which means that for every one lease room, it's like signing 4, 5, even 6 managed rooms. So that's the reason.
A great metric to know. Manoj, do you do leases? Or you buy and do your own build?
We own 50% are leases. So in fact, we have always been in leases. We don't have a single. Actually, the exact opposite of what most of the brands are. And partially, I think the genesis was somewhere here in terms of what Vikramji mentioned, that how do you create a structure which is capital out? And what that has enabled us is that we invest in our own properties in select destinations where we want to be seen as having our own. And then most of our expansion today is coming to that's a model which has worked very well.
Perfect. From leasing to owning, Shwetank, I come to you. You see, you're the frontier PropCo business in this. Ladies and gentlemen, what I mean to say is that there are property owning companies. So the hotel that you're sitting in, a wonderful hotel, run by a wonderful man who's just taken a flight out, Japan, and his wonderful team, is all, what Chalet did a few years ago, and it's a rock star hotel today. And you're putting more money behind such big boxes, and I see, Shwetank, there's a great balance that you guys have created, and we are very privileged to service in some way or the other what you do in your ambition, JLL partners in your ambition in terms of getting you new properties and acquisitions. But I see through that journey that it's become a very balanced growth story. You're not only now restricted to West and South, you're moving to North. You're not only restricted to business cities, you're also doing Goa and Rishikesh. What a fantastic deal that you. Right. So you're not only doing big boxes, but also you're doing more boutique stuff. So what's the genesis behind that?
It's a great question. It's a question that, we keep asking ourselves all the time. And, when I joined in August of 23, literally in about 2 months' time, we had a strategic meet with our board. And that's where we set this strategy in place. And basically, this is how it goes. It's very simple. There's no complication. We like big boxes, concentrated beds in deep markets like Mumbai, 588 rooms here. Go to Powai, 777 rooms. Between Westin Hyderabad and the second Westin that we have opened in High-Tech, there's another 550 rooms there. Go to Bangalore, 353 operational, another 129 we have just started. So, we like big boxes, big cities, difficult to enter, high barriers to entry. We love that. We make a ton of money out of it. This hotel is a 400 crore plus hotel. We make a ton, very clear. But what happened was COVID happened. And when COVID happened, we realized that we needed to spread some of our eggs. And the decision that we took was that we want some eggs in the leisure basket. And the way we define leisure in our system is that it has to be within an hour, hour and a half from a major airport. Can't be further than that, it becomes too difficult. Part of it is also because our promoter Ravi doesn't like to drive. So it has to be a location you can go and see. So that's why we stay within 1.5 hour distance from a major airport. Hotelier Marriott that we acquired in Aravali, in Faridabad, an hour and a half from Delhi. Dukes in Lonavala under construction, beautiful hotel. Anybody who's not been there should go there in about 2 months' time. We'll finish it off. We've completely repositioned the hotel about an hour and a half from Mumbai. Rishikesh, an hour, actually only 45 minutes from Jollygrant. So that's the way we look at it. But most important, the bottom line of these decision making is return on management time. So when we are deciding where we want to go, we have an EBITDA target as a minimum value to which below which we will not go. The hotel is below 25, 30 crores of EBITDA, will not touch. Now we are fortunate that we have capital to back us up. Therefore, we can make decisions like that. But the clear message from our promoters and in our strategy is don't touch a hotel which will not give you a return on management time. Because time taken to run a 25, 30 crore EBITDA hotel or a 10 crore EBITDA hotel or a 5 crore EBITDA hotel in terms of concentration is the same. We want to Western Tower.
Very well said, Shwetank. I was in fact interestingly, I was with Ashish Jakhanwala this morning in his office, CEO Sammy Hotels. He said one thing on our meeting which sort of stuck with me. Good that you played it out and I can reflect. He said that in our PropCo business, we need either capital or patience. There's no other way to run this business. If you have capital, great. If you don't have capital, don't worry. Be patient. Capital will come, do the right thing. And that's what you guys are doing. There's so much fuel in the tank that I was telling Shwetank. But also, it's the kind of plane that you're flying. It's like an Airbus 380. It's huge. And because of the big boxes and what you're delivering, and it's not only to your, obviously to your company and to your shareholders, but also to the guests. And I feel Ravi's right, because in many ways, the guest also thinks like that. You ought to be at a drivable distance from the nearest airport. That's how you will actually fill up that hotel. So fundamentally, things remain the same. I have only 2 minutes left. 1 minute left. Okay. You have, no, but I still have my. You want to ask? Okay. So I have 1 minute, 45 seconds. Very quickly, I'll go to all of you and see how much justice can we do. Shall I start with you? Top 3 priorities that you have in your mind for, let's say, for 2025 and maybe 2026. Top 3 priorities, and these priorities may change as we know. We all change our shoes by running, given the dynamic nature of the market.
Very clear priorities for hotels in South Asia that I manage. First priority is high quality growth. And that's a priority for us for 25, will be a priority for us for the next couple of years. And the second priority is to execute that high quality growth, those high quality signups, and make sure that those hotels open and launch the way they should, and the operations is robust to deliver that success to our owners and deliver ROI. And the third priority is we are in a people's business. People talk to people run our hotels. And it is about prioritizing top talent movement. These are the top 3 things, and that's a lot of work.
Great, Manoj.
Is coming second on this question is difficult because I think the priorities will pretty much remain the same. So clearly, number 1 is, we have publicly said we're going to add 1,000 rooms from now to March 26. So which is, to give you a reference point, that's about 20% growth in capacity. So clearly, how do we execute on that? That's number 1. Second is talent, because if you're talking about that kind of expansion, I think how do we create systems? How do we create the talent pool? And that's something which we always talk about. Third, from my own perspective, is I think which is as you think about this kind of growth, how do you manage that customer experience and make sure that the brand is felt the same way in all our resorts? I think that's the third one. Priority for us. Wonderful, Vikram.
So priority number one is to sign a hotel which comes through JLL.
We have a coffee we have a coffee hamper. It's a BMW outside. Whoever wins the coffee hamper, I think it's going to this guy. Yeah, because
So among the other smaller priorities, and I'll take 30 seconds to answer this before, so please bear with me. See, like we all said, there are 2 lakh branded rooms in this country. The next level, there are another 3 lakh rooms, by the way, which are almost legal or probably legal. They are smart hotels. They are run by operators. They are not run by operators. They're run by individuals who do a damn decent job, but they have a pain point. The pain point could be revenue. The pain point could be talent. The pain point could be capital. So, some blue ocean thinking, how can these 3 lakh rooms come into mainstream? And can I, create a moat by which I could sign up 1 lakh rooms here? And Yadi, so without drinking, huh?
okay, let's go out. So this can become 3 lakh rooms. Shwetank, thank you, Vikram.
Very similar to what my co-panelists said, but the only thing that's different with us is that our growth, while growth is important, we are a publicly listed stock, so growth is central to what we do. But our growth is going to come through executing our projects. The biggest pipeline that we are coming through with right now is basically projects and execution. Just to give you an example, we are about 1,500 crores in work in progress. April to the set to double soon. So that's the only thing that keeps us awake at night, is we need to execute to meet our 5-year goal. It's execute, which means if you are architects, designers, I can see HBA is represented here. If you are an MEP consultant, if you are a contractor, you have a lot of business with us. Please approach us. We like to develop partners for long term. And meeting. Yeah, as well.
Vibhor, such a good segue to wrap this up. You wanted to say something because I have been scolded. So, you're excluded. You're out of the time.
Just 2 cents from my side. A big hand to Jaideep Rang for a wonderful, anchor, host, and steering this conversation. Constructive. Lots of insight. Lots of heavyweights on the panel and people watching this live there. We are in good hands. This leadership is going to take us ahead and ahead. And as I say in Latin, semper sursum, sky is the limit.
Thank you for the
जोर से
blessings.
बजा दो.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Time's up. I had much more to ask, but let's continue. And if you have any more questions, we're outside. Let's go grab a drink.
Mr. Dang, not just yet. Please do allow us a moment more. There's one more final discussion, so let's keep those drinks a little bit after that.
But you always keep us final, right?
So may I request all of you to please put your hands together for them as we capture them in the same frame. Please ignore the last 10 seconds of everything he said. I promise you those drinks, but after the next, 30 minutes or so. So please do bear with us because we are very, very excited. After our next panel discussion, we're going to be presented the much awaited ESG Excellence Awards. That's going to make sure that we garner all your love because we are very excited as we are going to unveil the West Region Awards for ESG Excellence. So a round of applause for that. We had such an overwhelming response of nominations that our jury received, and we're going to tell you a lot more about that a little later. Thank you, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure having you here, and may we offer you a token of our love on your way down. Thank you so very much for joining in. Thank you, Mr. Dang, for being here and moderating this segment. Before I invite my next set of speakers on stage, let's take a look at this audiovisual to know more about our design partner, Merino Senses.
look at the world around us. There is someone making it more vibrant every day. We are Merino. Every time you fly to a different city, the airports now greet you brightly. We are partners of New India, the trust of a sports-frenzied nation. Together, we are ready to create a beautiful future. A future based on constant innovation. In fact, not just India, we are omnipresent in 80+ countries in 6 continents across the globe. Our restroom cubicles have been installed at stadiums built for FIFA World Cup 2022. The world's leading IT companies places trust in our products. At Merino, it's always environment first. We are strongly passionate about preserving a beautiful earth. We absolutely believe in zero waste at all our manufacturing facilities, with conservation at the heart of all our initiatives. Merino restores water that is equivalent to the needs of over 2,400 households. Our circular economy initiatives are capable of lighting up 3,000 city homes. Our agroforestry efforts reduce significant carbon footprints. Our latest halal plan is all set to transform India as we foray into the export of European-grade chipboard. Our latest offering has been designed specifically for the hospitality industry. Exquisite finishes, classic designs, and premium products well-suited for suave interiors. Beyond the ordinary world lies a world of luxury. Louis impresses the most discerning connoisseur with effortless ease, stunning and elegant. This exquisite range of premium surfaces not only fascinate with its subtle beauty, but also create lasting impressions for life. All Louis surfaces are designed with haute matte technology that gives them a supreme matte finish with an irresistible satin smooth touch. Designed for a delicate sensory touch, these surfaces are engineered with the highest standards of technology, offering a host of innovative features. Inspired by nature, Merino Senses is an experience like no other. Offering the timeless allure of authentic woods, these ready-made panels blend nature with modern design sensibilities to transform your interiors. The unique biophilic designs restores pristine calm, bringing nature indoors, and its exotic elegance of rustic oak is sure to awaken your senses. At Merino, we believe innovation is a constant endeavor. Our sustained initiatives have transformed the decorative surface industry, for we are not just the global leader in decorative laminates. We are one of our kind. We are different. Merino, be different.
Merino, be different. I'd once again like to request all our guests in the pre-function area to please join us inside. We still have a while before we open the bar and welcome you for networking. For now, may I humbly request all of you to join us inside. I'm about to welcome my next set of speakers on stage. And as we get set to do that, after our next panel discussion, we will be opening the doors for our very, very special segment, the ESG Excellence Awards. And as we get set for that, let me request my team to display the next set of speakers up on the screen. It is such a pleasure to have not just our eminent speakers, but also our jury members participate in this next panel discussion that is going to talk about a subject that's very close to our heart, which is the ESG mandate, where we are going to talk about sustainabilities, where we are going to touch upon ethics, about growth, and how is it that our speakers are really thinking about all of this and making sure that they practice it at their organizations. So with great pleasure, may I have all of you put your hands together for Mr. Abhishek Mathur, Director, Studio HBA. Let's welcome him. May I have the pleasure of inviting Ms. Ambika Gautam, Founding Partner, The People Network. Please put your hands together for Mr. Avinash Kumar, President, Earthhood. Like I said, they're also a part of our board of jury. So wonderful having you here. May I request all of you to please welcome our fabulous panelists. Let's hear it up for Mr. Rohit Wangnu, Executive Director, Wang Hospitality Equipment. Wonderful to have you here with us. May I request all of you to please join us on stage along with our fabulous moderator, Mr. Sriram Kuchimanchi, founder, Smart Therma. Round of applause for all of them, please. While they step on stage and take a seat as per the images on the backdrop, may I once again humbly request all our guests in the pre-function area. I promise you there will be enough and more time for us to network a little later. For now, as a mark of respect to my wonderful speakers on stage, please join us back inside the hall. 30 minutes of a lot of excitement, a lot of insights from our wonderful panelists right here.
Okay, yeah. So always a last panel is said to be the one between food and a glass of something, right? So we are squeezed and we are squeezed further. But I'll try to make it as effective as possible. Um, First and foremost, thank you. Thank you for inviting all of us here on behalf of all of us. And I'll do 2-3 times where I'll do a behalf of all of them in the interest of time. So one of the behalf of all of them is thanking to invite us here. Also, as jury members, we've had an opportunity to go through all the applicants, some fantastic applications from West Zone as opposed to South and North. Last year we saw. Some of us are continuing jury members here. So it was great. Second thing, except Rohit, who's got a direct connection to the hospitality sector, we are all quite disconnected. I think Vibor and team very strategically brought all of us to talk ESG. We're all practicing sustainability, social, environmental, and governance work here at different sectors and different ways for many years. So I hope we'll bring an entire angle on ESG. The previous 2 sessions spoke exclusively about growth, the industry, the challenges you're facing. So I hope we'll shed a lot of light on the climate and the social part of it. That's our interest. As people come in, maybe I'll tell a couple of jokes and it'll get more interesting. There was once, so, okay, from climate and ESG perspective, let me shed some light. Everybody spoke about the industry's growth and all. So here's a question. Can you tell me the hottest year we've had in the last 15 years? 2024. Yeah, you get to win the next. Yes. So in the last 15 years, every year was the hottest year compared to the previous year. Globally, we've been getting hotter and hotter and hotter each year, right? So 2030 was supposed to be the year we cross 1.5 degrees centigrade global temperature. We're going to cross it in 2028. So that is the amount of acceleration, right? So now to juxtapose that next to the hospitality industry is supposed to double by 2030. We're going from $247 billion to somewhere around $500 billion by 2030. That's the growth of the industry. Do any of you know the greenhouse gas impact of the hospitality sector globally? I'll answer. It's 1%. It's not much, right? It's 1%. So the global carbon footprint is 37 billion tons of carbon. 1% of this is from hospitality. Now you could say it's just 1%. Are we responsible? 1% is a pretty big number. More importantly, 50% of that 1% is non-transport. 50% of that, which means it directly falls into whatever you're all doing. Rooms, lodging, food, services, people, equipment, material, all that becomes part of what you do. That's 50% of the hotel industry. So I think that's an exciting thing because you have a huge chance to make an impact. There's enough data. Some of you, some of the hotels who submitted success stories are from here. And you have data to prove that there's a top line and bottom line value of becoming sustainable. Why is this important? Sustainability is not a CSR activity, it's an ESG activity, right? So that's a critical part to understand. Couple of more data points before I open to everybody. I said it's 1%, right? by 2030, if the global temperature reduction is supposed to be met, you all have to reduce your carbon footprint by 66% by 2030. And the hospitality sector has to reduce by 90% by 2050. So some of you, when you submitted applications and you were working on sustainability, these are numbers you need to work towards. As you have your thousands of hotel rooms, hotels and new locations to open up, 66% is by UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, predicted that we need to reduce by 66%. I think I'll still go back to a couple of jokes. Given this strategy, given this data, I'm hoping that we'll answer 3 questions for you today. One, where does the buck stop? Who's responsible for sustainability and ESG in the hotel industry? I hope we can answer that. Second, vast majority of the industry still believes that sustainability and business do not work together, right? You still look at this as a social quotient. You think that you're doing good for somebody else, not to the hotel itself. I hope we can dispel some of that. And lastly, we would share some innovative ideas we've seen in applicants and what we've seen in the market. Our aim is to do that. I will get into the questions. The first question I had in mind is to talk about ESG itself, right? And ESG stands for Environment, Social, Governance. It's important to know what each of that means. Like I said, differentiate that from CSR. Ambika, can you start talking about social power?
Okay, so the S of ESG for hotels primarily encompasses various factors that are socially important for responsible business practices. And as they say that great hotels are social ideas, they are flawless mirrors to the particular societies that they serve. So factors like fostering positive and inclusive workplace culture, diversity, engaging with local communities, primarily upholding human rights throughout the hotel's operations and value chain, primarily is what S would mean. And I think it's more important than ever today to create a better tomorrow that is more inclusive, more sustainable, and more secure. So that is
S part.
Yes, that is S.
Abhishek, I'm going to ask you to talk about E and keeping infrastructure in there.
Yeah, thanks, Sridhar. Hi, everyone. I work with a firm called HPA. Some of you may know about it, some of you don't. So I'm just gonna let you know where my context is coming from. The E part of ESG is really, really important to me because as HPA, we are committed to making beautiful guest experiences through design. We give form to expression through design. And we curate that through designing architecture, through designing interior design, through designing landscape, lighting, everything which a guest experiences firsthand. And through this sort of quest for design, what we have figured out is that the environmental aspect is so important. It's much more than the visual aspect that design is associated with. We focus on creating that total experience, and through some of our projects, like the Capella in Singapore, we have figured out a way of how to reduce wastage, which is such an important part of built environment and keeping it. We have also figured out a way how to be contextual, how to work with local materials, how to reduce cost, how to reduce carbon footprint, how to reduce the embodied energy levels with the material palette that we're using. Not only is it good for you, not only is it healthy, but it gives a form to a truly authentic expression. And this is really important. This is where the owners get value. This is where the operators get value. So I just want to emphasize the problem with us being focused on sustainability very often that I see from a designer perspective and from the guest perspective, that it was deemed to be a little unsexy. Most people think of sustainability as something which is like an add-on. But for us, it's sort of basic hygiene. Not only that, but it can form to a beautiful expression. And I would love to talk with anyone later, maybe show you things that we've done. But yeah, that's what ESG means to me, with a focus on.
Thanks. Avinash, uh, I wanted to talk governance, but also, tie the whole story of ESG. But 1 minute.
Hi, good evening. Thanks, first of all, Sheila. So governance is very, very important. And so basically a top-down approach. It's all about the ethical leadership, strategic decision-making, ensuring trust among the stakeholders. Because ultimately it is the governance, the company board structure responsible for all the transparent policies, whether it is sustainability in hospitality or any other sectors. So basically, this particular board of governance structure responsible for cascading down all the policies in a transparent way. And this is so important that ultimately, because the people believe in these guys, because they have the authority not only to ensure the transparent policies, but also to pass on the budgets. And ultimately, they are the key stakeholders. Obviously, among other stakeholders are the guests also and other people also, and the investors also. So governance is so important that the social and environmental component directly or indirectly revolves around governance. So if you don't have a effective or ethical governance, you are not going to do much neither on the environmental component nor on the social component. So it is very, very important.
Rohit, you have, your question is going to be purely from an entrepreneur who's working in the industry, to talk about how ESG plays a role in working.
Hi, very good evening, everyone, and thank you, ITP, for having me on the panel. Well, I'll begin by giving you a divergent view. Two views are diametrically opposite. So in my humble opinion, and this is what we touched base briefly earlier discussed as well. I'm of a firm opinion that anybody in the world, right, who's trying to teach us Indians, right, that we got to be conscious about ESG. Sometimes I take it like a bad joke, pun intended. Okay, and why? Because let's go back into the history quickly and deep dive into, let's say, what Americans did, and they still continue to do. They are energy guzzlers, and they don't care. In fact, the recent press conference that President Trump did was drill, baby, drill. He's not bothered, right? So that's why. What UK did, let's say, they exploited, ravaged us for 200 years, took out $45 trillion worth of money, so on and so forth. And today, when we as, an emerging country is trying to, make life better for our people, it is but obvious that we are going to consume energy, right? Having said that, what a lot of people forget is, and I'm glad that, my paths crossed with Avinash. So glad. And, he kind of supported me on this view that despite being an emerging economy, emerging country, energy guzzling country, whatever bad words that we can think about, we still take pride, or rather, if I would say, immense pride, that on a per capita basis, our carbon footprint is not just the least, but it is less than the global average. And thanks for sharing that information with me. So yeah, that's my view on ESG. Having said that, this was the one view. The diametrically opposite view to this view would be that, well, whatever said and done, the least that all of us here, regardless of our age groups, ought to be concerned is to think about our future generations. I've got a 7-year-old daughter, and I think every day what I need to do, and I'm sure my parents did when I was growing up as their kid, what they should be doing as a parent. And similarly, whether we are parents, whether we are elder siblings, or for that matter, industry stalwarts, we got to do things and leave this world in somewhat better condition, somewhat better position than what it is today currently for the future generations. That's my take on it.
Thank you, Rohit. And you need to remember the class is waiting for you, so we need to finish faster. Okay, a key part, I'm sure all of you keep thinking, who's responsible? This is the biggest question, right? You would say there's so many stakeholders. There's a government, there is the owner, there's the operator, there's a vendor, there's a customer. Who is responsible? I think it's important to understand the stakeholders and the social side of it. Also from the point of view of how do you make that a positive and create a business out of it, right? So Ambika, can you shed some light on that with some example maybe?
Yes.
And you can all
Yes,
look at
in
time.
the interest of time, I'll kind of start with examples. So This is my favorite example, and I think I've given it to you before. BNA Alter Museum. It is an art boutique hotel in Kyoto, Japan. 31 permanent exhibitions inside the hotel that you can sleep in. So these are rooms that are created by 15 Japanese artists. They also have a 10-story vertical art gallery that exhibits all the contemporary art that Japan has to offer. The most splendid part is the BNA share system, the revenue share system. Every time a room is booked, a booking fee from there goes on to support the artist who's created that permanent exhibition. They are, you become a patron of art by merely sleeping into that room. And they are trying to create this continuous source of income for these contemporary Japanese artists, and also exposing their art to people from across the world. That is, for me, I think, is one of very progressive ways to bring in ESG into your business model.
But also keep it local.
Yes, yes. BNA Alter Museum is present in 3 locations in Japan, and everywhere they are promoting local artists, and hence supporting those many artists in the country. They also do various pop-ups for their F&B places. So that is one. I think closer home, I would want to quote the Lalit is embedding, inclusivity into their business model, and hence making a very diverse, sustainable, and equitable hospitality industry in a better ESG adoption. So yes, kudos to them. Some fabulous work. So yes, I mean, these are I think two big examples that I would want to quote. But ideally, to bring in a consumer into the fold of ESG, what you need to do is create unique experiences. Also be in a position to have ESG, track ESG performance, and be able to report and show the impact that effective ESG initiatives have given into the business performance.
Perfect segue for me. Thank you. Now another question, right? Many applications we saw without numbers. I'm an engineer. Sure, many of your teams have engineers in your team who question, you can't manage something without measuring. Even this day in 2025, we have sustainability or ESG adoption, which is esoteric. Qualitatively, we look at it. Or somebody in a conference once told me, sustainability is a lagta hai attitude with it. Ye acha lagta hai. We don't look at it as this is the exact number, this is what we need to do. Tangibility is important, right? Like she said, to report. But before we report, we need to know what we're doing. I'm not, you've been an expert in carbon, one of the best carbon managers and carbon accounting person in the country. For the hospitality industry, and I know other sectors too, but can you shed some light on bringing tangibility to sustainability? Example, if you have seen in the...
Yeah, so let me try this. Look, data and tangible benefits are very important. So like ESG is a buzzword, and nowadays when net zero also. So in terms of data, in terms of tangible benefits, if you see the entire world, if you ask any hotel or any industry, everyone wants to become net zero. But net zero from where? Whether you want to become net zero from 1,000 or from 100, you should know your baseline. Unless you don't have any clarity about the baseline, it is not possible for you to draw a roadmap around that.
Avinash, can you also explain what is net zero? All of you have 2030, 2040 net zero goals. But what is net zero, right? You need to know that.
So basically net zero, you completely emit, zero down all your emissions with optimization and reduction efforts without actually moving towards the offsetting option. Offsetting should be the last option. Like you can reduce down, or you can neutralize your hard to abate residual emissions with the help of offsetting. But now coming down to tangible benefits. So I read a lot of reports, about all the hotels, many hotels. Some of the hotels are doing very, very good work. So I'm not endorsing any particular hotel over here, but I was going through the Hilton report, sustainability report, and they have done some very commendable job as compared to 2008 baseline. They have reduced down their carbon footprint by 49%, water close to 22%, waste 45%. In some of the hotels around the world, especially in UK, US, and some part of the Europe, they are completely sourcing the energy from the renewable source of energy. they were the first one, to join the campaign of end the human trafficking. They ranked almost number one in EcoVadis rating, then A rating on the CDP portal. So a lot of commendable work they are doing, which which compel us to believe, to know that why the carbon foot reductions or ethical sourcing or sustainability is important. So whenever such kind of case studies, you publish or you talk about in the public domain, all the other, hotel or other groups, they also learn from that. So that's why, data is very important, because sometimes you should not only be good, you should appears to be good. Because if you appears to be good, people learn from it.
Thanks. Okay, Abhishek. You should shed some light on experiences. Sustainability cannot be just a good design building, which is reducing energy footprint by 30% or water footprint by 70%, right? Design is an experience as well, not just the building. So can you talk about that from a sustainability point of view? And again, and you gave a great example.
Yeah, sure. I can talk about that. I think, to the question of how we can make sustainability more palatable, more design driven, this is a role where I think our discipline as designers really takes center stage. I was giving an example of Capella Singapore that we designed some time back, which has got rave reviews. Capella in Singapore, for those who haven't visited, it's like a new addition to an already colonial building. I wish I could show the visuals. We worked with Norman Foster to create the external edition of the building. And more importantly, we worked with the whole ecosystem of the landscape of that whole resort, where we were able to retain most of the major tree plantations at that site. And we reinvigorated the whole edge of that resort with more densely forested areas. So it was almost like a reforesting exercise. But then as you come close to the villas, we sort of made it more articulated edges, not completely manicured, but this is a good example of how to not only revitalize an old landscape, because we have to remember something already exists. As designers, I hate to admit it, but we can only destroy. We can't create anything. And we have to be extremely conscious of how we create something new with a very light footprint.
But they have 2 lakh rooms or something coming up for the next 5 years.
Yes, and that's where I think the design community really needs to step up. Yeah. Yeah, but I think, we are all complicit in this destruction, so to speak. We need to go with a really light foot. And I think we need good precedents. We need to make it a viable option for the owner-operator relationships, for the buyers at large. We need to get a new experience. If I can just put in, and we need to redefine the luxury experience. Because, there are another example is the Silk Express that we've done in China, which is a hotel in a train. The whole train is going through an entire expanse where the travelers can really cut through the breadth of the geography and become more conscious of the entire environment around them. So there are different, and it's a great use of adaptive reuse, which is another big strategy, which in India, I think can be really, really successful, given the amount of old heritage buildings that we have. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Thanks. And I will come back on that. Rohit, my friend, we both have 7 minutes and 20 seconds. So you have 3 minutes. I need 4 minutes. So question to you. A lot of you heavily depend on supply chain and vendors, right? So supply services to you. Rohit represents that industry quite well. And so I have very specific question. Can you name the top, first of all, do your clients ask you your ESG compliance? 1. And 2, what are the top 3 ESG related questions they ask you, which is something rest of them can learn and take back?
Okay. So honestly, in the entire ecosystem, by the time we come into play, a lot of water has actually gone under the bridge. And these questions are normally thrown to good people like Josema sir sitting right here with us, the operators who are somewhere here, Abhishek, and so on and so forth. But well, in terms of what we as vendors or contractors bring onto the table is in the spirit of living the ESG dream, right? If I were to put it for lack of better thought, is to basically collaborate with by having strategic partnerships, with OEM partners who spend millions of dollars or euros for that matter to continuously, let's say improve by, embracing tech and helping bring down the carbon footprint of Avinash, if I were to say. The second thing is that, we genuinely believe on the sustainability factor. So one thing is, as I said, strategic partnerships to help us bring down the overall carbon footprint. Things matter such as waste management, water conservation, or for that matter, water usage, HVAC, major, because we have Anshu with us from Quick Clean. You would agree, laundry cannot be, I mean, can't be anything other than laundry to be a greater energy guzzler, but that's one part of the thing. The other part of the thing is the sustainability part, right? On the sustainability part, if I were to say, well, we try and look within and we try to put things in context. I think just maybe about an hour or so, or maybe 45 minutes ago, we are talking about where India is headed. So we got to understand where are we headed, and then where in that whole dream of or the ecosystem where we fit in, how we fit in, how we are relevant, right? So we always have believed, even though we are very tiny, we believe that it is very critical for us to adopt and embrace the people first approach. Because today, if let's say I'm sitting here wearing a suit and perhaps looking borderline good, if at all, is because there are some people working their heart out in my office in various locations. In fact, if I were to call out names, I would have people right now all across the country trying to make things happen. So people first approach and continuously, learning from others outside of the ecosystem. I would just conclude by giving you one example, which is an author, which I urge everybody to read about and read his books, is a guy called Tamol Bandyopadhyay. He's written some absolutely fantastic books for success stories in the corporate world. And my biggest take from him has been to dream for WHEPL to become a she company, which is sustainable, honest/humble, and enterprising. So that's what I would like to conclude with.
Super, I like the she. Actually, I'm going to, and I want to change tax for the last page. I want to set it up, and I want to really stand and talk. So, do you know when the first time climate change was spoken in public forum? Can anybody guess? 1912. 1912, the first article was written in a newspaper in New Zealand. Sorry? 1952, the first booklet about climate change and industrial revolution causing carbon in the atmosphere and heating up was written. 1984, a book called Silent Spring was written by Rachel Carson. 2001, a movie called Inconvenient Truth was made. I don't know if anybody has not seen it. I highly recommend you should watch it. 2009, this is what happened. Russia goes to Antarctica. Russia digs 5 kilometers down, takes out ice core, and identifies how much carbon was sequestered during the previous ice age. And they saw that when the ice starts melting, how much carbon is going to come out. We know that much science today. 98.4% of all scientists completely agree globally that climate change is accelerated because of humans. Homo sapiens are accelerating climate change. Now, why am I saying all this now? Is a sense of urgency, right? Your industry is slated to grow like no other industry right now. We have numbers to double and everything. To meet that, the industry has to reduce. I said that earlier, I'm going to say it again. 66% of carbon footprint reduction is to be done by the hotel industry globally by 2030. 90% of hotel industry carbon footprint, 90% by 2050. And do anyone know what is India's goal by 2070? India is supposed to be a net zero country. United States by 2050, China by 2060, India by 2070. And if India has to be 2070 net zero, hotel industry has to become 90% decarbonized by 2050. That's a huge ask. It's not a small ask. Avinash and I are here. You can chat with us about what does net zero even mean. Happy to talk offline. But that is the sense of urgency you have. I can't stress enough. In fact, here's the thing, right? This is the kind of knowledge we have. If we call all of us one generation, our choice is ours whether the next generation should remember us, that they knew everything possible, they did the right things, they left us in a better place, or they knew everything possible, they continued to grow in an unfettered manner, and they left us in this mess. That choice is yours. But given that, now the question to all of you is one word answer about where does the buck stop?
I would say policymakers. I think they dictate what policy.
Combination of top management, ownership, and regulatory bodies.
Top management.
Top management.
Yeah, top management, because everything, they are responsible.
I think that the answer has been given by the panelists, so I think it's a mix of policy making, the most part of it, and the top management.
Yeah,
Largely.
thanks. So I actually agree with Rohit on this. Definitely. It's actually all of us, all stakeholders from the customer till the top management, the developer, the operator, the vendors, all of us are there. Why is this important? Because there is this very famous term called someone else's problem. There's a book on that, please read it. But in this sustainability adoption, all the industries, not just hospitality, we always look at it someone else's problem. It's not. In fact, I would go so far to say, we are the people we've been waiting for. Next generation is going to not solve this problem. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for this. Thank you.
Shriram, if I'm having just one last line. So, I have seen many hotels, most of the hotels, they always in terms of ESG reporting. So they follow different frameworks. I would request if, hotel industry start following a very uniform ESG reporting. I think GRESB is the platform they can start following, because this is something very unique for the real estate plus the hotel industry plus the infra. And I think one of my colleague friend is also here from GRESB. I think that will give them a benchmarking as well as over and above what they are doing and what their peers are doing in the country, the region, the globe.
Thank you so very much for that. May I request all of you to please join us for a group picture. A round of applause for our fabulous panelists and Shriram, our moderator. May I please request all our guests in the back end of the hall to join us up front, take a seat. Please do be party to this absolutely fantastic unveil of the Hotelier India ESG Excellence Awards 2025. As we get set to begin with our award ceremony in just a bit, may I please request our guests at the back end of the hall to come up front, take a seat. Let's look forward to the wonderful team. And may I request the team to please clear the stage up as we present a token of our appreciation to each of our speakers. I would like to share with my wonderful guests that after the award ceremony, I will be welcoming you back for networking over drinks, over dinner. I'll also be welcoming you to meet our partners at their booth. But for now, may I request all of you to please take a seat. We are all set to celebrate excellence. We're all here to celebrate the segment of sustainability right here. Let's clear the stage. Before we begin with the award ceremony, I would like to request all of you to take a look at the screen as we tell you more about our partners. Let's get to know how luxury is in store for all of us through this audio visual of BMW.
At Matrix, we believe in better. That means meaningful innovations. Better means designs that are smarter. Better means solutions crafted with your space and your goals in mind. Better means technology that transforms workouts, keeps you connected, and puts your brand, your business, and your people at the center of the experience. And better means a partner who's there for you every step of the way. Matrix. For all those who believe in better.
Well, before we begin with the award ceremony, here is me humbly requesting our guests at the back end of the hall, as a mark of respect to not just the nominees, but the winners who will be joining us on stage, may I please request all of you to take a seat. I'm going to wait till you all take your seats. I promise you that. So all my guests at the back end, may I please request all of you to take your seats so that we kickstart the award ceremony that we are so very excited about. Once again, everybody at the back end. Ma'am, sir, black jacket, sir in the gray jacket, may I request you to please take a seat? Let's look forward to celebrating together, because this is an endeavor that we've worked very, very hard for. And trust me when I say this, that in the hospitality industry today, when we talk about purpose, when we talk about impact, sustainability has truly become a cornerstone of modern hospitality. And the Hotelier India ESG Excellence Awards are dedicated to recognizing hotels that are today actively embracing and implementing ESG practices. We would like to take a moment and begin with the awards for the Western region. And as we do that, I would like to share with all of you winners that we look forward to having you share your pictures holding that beautiful plaque of honor on your social media handles. Please do remember to tag us. This event is live on YouTube, and we would love for you to share the message and the link to the community to really showcase how we all are consciously thinking and making efforts. So thank you so very much. Once again, those of you still at the back end would request you to please come up ahead as we look forward to commencing with the first ESG Excellence Awards category. Let's get set to present to you this category, and let me extend a very warm welcome to our presenters, Mr. Mayank Singhi, Zonal Head, Merino, India. Please put your hands together as I request his kind presence on stage. May I also welcome Kazima Chatawala, Principal Architect, Designers Group. A round of applause to Mr. Kunal Chauhan, GM, JW Marriott Mumbai Sahar, to join us to present the awards. The first few categories will be presented by you. Thank you, gentlemen. Please join in. Well, this is a category that we are so very excited about, and I'd like to share with you that we'd like to pass on all the very best once again to the wonderful nominees that we had here. May I request all of you to please get set. Please get set as we look forward to presenting to you the category winner of Sustainable and Environment Conscious Hotel of the Year for the Western region. And let's look forward to sharing with you our first subcategory right here. A round of applause as we present to you the winner. Let's look towards the screen as we get to congratulate the winner of luxury to upper upscale. Winner is Touch the trees. May I congratulate the team and request them to join us here on stage. I would like to share with you that this is a category that takes home not just one, but two recognitions and plaques. This is a joint award, and we'd like to congratulate you for joining us here. Many, many congratulations for taking home the honor and the title for our category, Sustainable and Environment Conscious Hotel of the Year. I would like to share with all the winners, when you join us on stage, there's a marking in the center stage for the perfect picture moment. Please do join us right there. Our warm wishes to you. I'd like our presenters to stay on because, like we mentioned, this award category has another winner. So in no particular order, may I request all of you to please put your hands together for the Excellence in Sustainable and Environment Conscious Hotel of the Year Award in Luxury Upper Upscale. Also goes to a round of applause as we get to congratulate ITC Maratha. Let's hear a round of applause for the fantastic team. Our jury has worked very, very hard. Been our think tank. Very soon, you're going to witness their presence on stage. Requesting you to please join us. And those of you clicking photographs, this is a reminder. We look forward to seeing these pictures on your social media handles. Please do remember to use our hashtag and also do remember to tag us. Ma'am, we'd love to have you. Congratulations to the team from ITC Maratha. I'd like to request Mr. Mayank Singhi to please stay on. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. I'd like to request you to please carry on with your presence here. May I please have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Jaideep Dang, Managing Director, Hotels and Hospitality Group, GLL, to join us on stage and give company to Mr. Mayank Singhi. A round of applause as he steps forward. You heard him earlier today as our moderator, and now he's joining us on stage as a presenter. Thank you so very much for being here. Wonderful having you here, and this is what takes us to yet another exciting subcategory right here. Amongst all of you, let us showcase to you our next category at the Hotelier India GM Summit and ESG Excellence Awards 2025. Our next category for all of you right here, and the subhead of this category is up on the screen for all of you. Let's take a look as we get set to congratulate this award category winner of upscale, mid-scale. May I request all of you to please get set to congratulate the winner. A round of applause for the Westin Pune Goregaon Park. Many, many congratulations. Many, many congratulations for taking home the honor. Thank you, gentlemen. Wonderful having you here. Thank you so very much for joining us. Up next, may I request all of you to please put your hands together as I welcome Mr. Raghavan Unikrishnan, Deputy General Manager, West Region, Matrix Fitnex. A round of applause for Mr. Manoj Bhatt, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Mahindra Holidays. May I also have the pleasure of inviting our wonderful leader, Mr. Martin Chambers, Managing Director, ITP Media Group. A round of applause as it is an absolute delight to have our global MD here with us. And we are so very glad that you could be a part of this brilliant show. Your presence here means a lot. Let's have a round of applause for our presenters. Thank you so very much and welcome. It's now time that we showcase to you our category in the Excellence in Sustainable and Environment Conscious Hotel of the Year Award when we talk about our subcategory of economy budget. May I request all of you to please look forward to the absolutely brilliant category winner. A round of applause as we get set to congratulate Ginger Goa Candolim. May I request the winning team to please join us on stage. Many, many warm wishes. Here is a reminder to all the winners to stay with us for a group picture at the end of the show. You know, it is the community more than anything that can show love and pay respect to all the winners. They deserve it. Thank you. May I request the presenters to please continue with their presence as we look forward to showcasing to you our next category. And this is a very special category because this is a category that talks about responsibility being taken very, very candidly, especially socially. So may I request all of you to look ahead as we talk about this next category of socially responsible hotel of the year. And you'll be happy to know our jury couldn't think of just one winner. So it's going to be a joint award. Yet again, I'll be calling them on stage in no particular order. Please put your hands together as we get set to congratulate the winner of the Excellence in Socially Responsible Hotel of the Year in Luxury Upper Upscale. Please put your hands together as we get set to congratulate one of our winners. A round of applause for Taj Holiday Village Resort and Spa Goa and Taj Fort Aguada Resort and Spa Goa. Many, many congratulations to the team for taking home the winner's title in Excellence in Socially Responsible Hotel of the Year. Our very, very warm wishes. Incredible work by you and the team. Like we mentioned, that this category has not just one but two winners. So may I request all of you to please get set for Socially Responsible Hotel of the Year in Luxury Upper Upscale category. A round of applause as we get set to congratulate yet another winner, the Lalit, because of their belief in diversity, equity, and inclusion. It has truly become a way of life living for them, and it is in their DNA. We would, in fact, love to hear their thoughts of how they made sure that inclusivity is a belief and a practice today and not just something that is about words. So may I request all of you to please put your hands together for the team from the Lalit. Audience, I think it is time for all of us to not shy away from appreciating talent when it is actually very well deserved. So our very, very many congratulations to the team. Before I let you all go, may I request you to share a few words on what holding that trophy means to you all and how is it that you have created this very welcoming, effortless way of living, of practicing.
Hi, everyone. At Lalit, diversity, equity, and inclusion is a part of our DNA. And what I'd like to share with the audience that it's not a tick in the box activity for us. It's something that we truly believe in, whether it's working with the LGBTQAI plus community, working with acid attack warriors, working with people that are differently abled. I think we believe in getting people to be their authentic selves at the workplace. I think that is what makes us different. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar, everyone. So like my ma'am said, it's very, very important for us to ensure that when anybody walks into the Lalit, be it as a guest or as our team member, they see themselves represented, they see themselves reflected. And what is very, very important is that it's not just about them being seen or heard, but valued and celebrated as who they are. And this is what matters to us. And I think this recognition today is a reflection to that, because it's very, very important that as our commitment to build an inclusive India, which belongs to all of us, we take corrective measures, we take affirmative actions, and we collaborate, because the future of hospitality cannot be looked at into isolation spaces. We need to collaborate with each other to build the capacity of individuals who are still looked at from the margins aspects. So I think let's collaborate, let's put together our thoughts, and let's integrate and celebrate individuals from different walks of life, because the future is all of us. And when I say all of us, that includes LGBTQIA plus community, persons with disabilities, acid attack warriors, people from different castes, different color, different religions, and people who are born in this world, which is a land of humans, which is a land of all of us together. Thank you.
Namaskar, everybody. Just a quick word from our end. I think picture speaks 1,000 words. This picture speaks a million. It just tells you what diversity, equity, and inclusion is all about. And thank you so much for being together, because we believe in collaboration, which is collaboration with competition. So thank you for being this wonderful audience. Thank you for being the wonderful family. Love you all. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you for those wonderful words. And I think your words have encouraged so many of our audience members here. So all set to celebrate. Holding that is a proud moment for you all. So thank you so very much and warm wishes to you. Thank you, presenters. Lovely having the two of you join us for this very interesting segment. Audience members, show some love, please. Thank you so much. Here is a reminder to all of you that we are live on YouTube across the globe. People from the community are all watching us. So let's make this equally memorable for them. We can't pass them the cocktails in reality, but they can see and witness these applauses. As we move on to the next segment, may I have the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Anshul Gupta, founder and CEO, Quick Clean Laundry Solutions. A round of applause as he steps forward. May I request Mr. Rahul Sikwera, Managing Director, ITP Media India, to please join us on stage for the next category right here. My audience to please put their hands together. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you so very much for being here. And as we are so excited to showcase to you our next category, which really talks about how today we are moving ahead. And that is why our next category up on the screen for all of you is Excellence in Corporate Governance Hotel of the Year, Upscale Mid-Scale winner. A round of applause as we congratulate the absolutely fantastic winning team. Please put your hands together as we pass on our warm wishes to the winners, the Western Mumbai Garden City in the upper upscale mid-scale winning category. The socially responsible hotel of the year in the upscale mid-scale category, the Western Mumbai Garden City. I'd like to request our presenters to please stay on as we move on to our next category. Right here, we're so excited to unveil the Hotelier India, the GM Summit. And now in this segment of our ESG Excellence Awards, our next category talks about Corporate Governance Hotel of the Year. And the first subcategory that we'd like to touch upon is that of a luxury upper upscale. Let's get set to congratulate the winner. Please put your hands together as we pass on our warm wishes to the winner. Let's hear it up. It's taking the title is JW Marriott Mumbai Sahar. presenters, wonderful having you here. May I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Rohit Wangnu, Executive Director, Wang Hospitality Equipment. May I request all of you to please welcome Mr. Zubin Saxena, Senior Vice President, Regional Head, South Asia Hilton. A round of applause for the absolutely sensational Mr. Vibhor Srivastava, MD Events, ITP Media India, joining us on stage for this very, very interesting segment that we're going to be unveiling all for you. Welcome, gentlemen. Lovely having you here with us. Thank you so very much for the presence. And as we look forward to the screen for this category, let's bring to you our next subcategory, which is that of upscale, mid-scale. Please put your hands together for taking home the winner's title is Hilton Mumbai International Airport. Many, many congratulations. A round of applause for the winning team. Many, many congratulations. May I thank Mr. Saxena for his very kind presence and request Mr. Vibhor Srivastava and Mr. Rohit Wangnu to please continue on stage. To give you company, may I please welcome Mr. Vikramjit Singh, Chairman and Managing Director, Aliva Hotels and Resorts, to please join us. May I also welcome Ms. Reeva Singh, Group Editor, ITP Media India, to please be a part of the presentation segment for this next category, our subcategory right here. Audience members, I thought you promised that you're going to put your hands together for our presenters with equal love. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Singh. Thank you so very much for your presence in this very, very special category of excellence in sustainable and environment conscious hotel of the year in the economy and budget. The winning title goes to a round of applause as we get to congratulate Ibis Mumbai Airport. Many, many congratulations for yet another spectacular moment right here. I'd like to request all our audience members to please put their hands together for Team Ibis Mumbai Airport to join us on stage. I would like to share with all the winners that we look forward to seeing you share these pictures, videos on your social media platforms. Create a buzz and please do tag us. Many, many warm wishes. Thank you, presenters. You have all been so very kind by your presence here. And this is what takes me to the next segment. You know, yes, it's a spectacular win for so many properties. It's a spectacular win for so many of us here. But our jury couldn't really picture one moment without this special and exceptional recognition. And this is being given for the most innovative ESG hotel of the year. To do the honors, may I request our jury members to join us here on stage. Please do welcome them with a round of applause. May I present to you our board of jury. We have with us Mr. Sriram Kuchimanchi, founder, Smart Therma, Mr. Abhishek Mathur, Director, Studio HBA, Ms. Ambika Gautam, Founding Partner, The People Network, Mr. Avinash Kumar, President, Third. It is such a delight to have our jury members here with us. Thank you so very much. And now that our jury members are here on stage, excited to share the journey with us, it will be an absolute pleasure to have our head join us on stage yet again. May I please request Mr. Martin Chambers, Managing Director, ITP Media Group, to join us on stage as we get set to present this very, very special honor. So may I request all of you to please put your hands together for this very special award that we are about to unveil. Thank you so much for being here. Well, this is a special segment. So may we bring to you the most innovative ESG hotel of the year. Please put your hands together as we get set to congratulate this absolutely fantastic establishment. A round of applause. The most innovative ESG hotel of the year goes to the absolutely brilliant Madhuban Resort and Spa. Many, many congratulations to the team and our warm wishes. We get set to take that celebration forward. May I request for a microphone, please? May I request for a microphone, please? I am going to give one word to all my jury members, what they thought about the categories before we give this out. One word that comes to your mind when we talk about the brilliant categories and when we talk about bringing about this great platform.
Inclusivity.
Tangibility. Holistic approach.
Amazing design.
It's very good. I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much, everyone, for having me here.
And well, on that note, I had to hear a word from each of you, what you thought about the various categories right here. Well, may I request all of you to please put your hands together as we once again get set to congratulate the fabulous team. And our representative will be collecting this beautiful plaque on their behalf and passing it on to them. So may I request all of you to please put your hands together. Our virtual applauses and the spirit of our love is reaching them for sure. Let's hear it up for Madhuban Resort and Spa. May I please request Vinodini to join us on stage. May I please request all of you to welcome Vinodini and Sheetal to please join us on stage. The beautiful women who are really the life and soul of this wonderful show that you see here. A lot of effort, a lot of love has gone behind it, and they deserve a round of applause. Thank you, Ms. Vinodini Rao and Ms. Sheetal Sadana, for your very graceful presence on stage. And thank you to our jury members. Thank you, Martin, for leading the show on. It's been a pleasure. Let's hear a round of applause for our think tank. You know, I'm now about to invite someone very special on stage, and I say that because when he welcomes you all to enjoy a good drink, when he thanks you all, it is going to be special for so many reasons. So may I request all of you to please welcome Mr. Vibhor Srivastava on stage to present the formal vote of thanks and also to invite you for the most awaited part of the evening, the drinks.
Firstly, give a big hand to Isha Bhalla, our host here. What an incredible woman. You really had this. It's been a marathon evening, but truly, truly of substance. We saw and, straddled across the spectrum of content, which was at the highest level. We really talked about the industry. We talked about the leaders in the industry. We saw the high points of the industry. I think we are up for the very good time. And India, for one, we talked about GDP. We are like $2,700. Look at about the, the startups. Which country has given the highest numbers of CEOs globally? It's India. So as India is poised to growth, and so is this industry, I want to immensely thank everybody, the speakers, the sponsors, the audience above all, for joining us to make this evening even more incredible and more memorable. We come to you for the next edition, and do not forget to make sure that you participate in our GM Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, it's absolute joy from all of us to see everybody at this hour on a weekday to spend time and be with us at every moment and every milestone that we have achieved. It's all because of you. Thank you, one and all. We love you, we like you, and we want to be with you all the time. Thank you very much. The bar is there. The evening is young. Go for it. And thank you, Martin, for all the way coming from Dubai to be here with us.
Thank you for those wonderful words. Our evening would have
And
been
my last 2
incomplete.
cents. My incredible team, which worked tirelessly. Vinodni, give it a hand for her. The editor for Hotelier India, Sheetal Sadana, commercial director, Fareen on my left, the marketing head for Console, managing the Console beautifully, and Girish, who's managing the people to come, Arpita, the new joinee, the young lad on the conference producer. There's lots and lots, Johnson outside managing, and I think this team is incredible. And I love you, each and everybody, for making this possible to work as one cohesive force. God bless all, and see you very soon.
And for you and all our leaders here. So thank you so much. Well, as we create memories, may I request all the winners to join us on stage for a picture perfect moment. And we'd love if you can carry the plaques with you. And we'd really appreciate your presence here. I'd also like to welcome our leaders to join us for this group photograph and our jury members. Let's have a group picture and then let's enjoy the evening together. And then I'm also going to request Team ITP to please join us for a picture moment. Winners, may I request all of you to please join us on stage for a group photograph that's going to be on all our portals. Jury members to take center stage. Without our jury, we wouldn't have jury members to take center stage in this picture. Without the jury, we can't get this picture, right? May I once again request all the winners of all categories to please join us on stage. Please, welcome. Once again, all the winners, I know you all are holding the plaques. I don't know, some winners are shying away. It's a team effort. Please come. They're all saying, sir, you go. Please welcome. Winning teams, may I request you to join us on stage for a group photograph, please. For the rest of my audience, please do take a moment and meet our partners at their booths. I'm sure they'll be so excited to showcase to you all conversations ahead. I'd like to request all of you to please join our partners at their booths. Thank you. Winners, may I request you to please join us on stage? I'd also like to take a moment and thank all our partners for supporting our endeavors at the event today. It has been an absolute delight partnering with you all. And let me take a moment and thank them. I'd like to thank our HVAC partner, Blue Star, our design partner, Merino Senses, our trusted laundry solution partner, Quick Clean Solutions, our category partner, Matrix Fitness, our luxury mobility partner, BMW Infinity Cars, our exhibit partner, Wang Hospitality Equipment, our knowledge partner, the People Network, our host hotel, JW Marriott Sahar Mumbai, and the fabulous team at ITP Media for bringing together this brilliant event. May I request all of you to now meet our partners at their booths whenever you find the time, and do join us for networking, drinks and dinner. Enjoy the experience. Please do share the pictures on your social media platforms. It's been a pleasure hosting the show for you. On behalf of the team, this is Isha Bhalla signing off. May I request the wonderful team from ITB India to join us on stage for a group photograph? We'd love to see all the hardworking people on stage. May I please request ITP team to join us on stage for a group picture? Pareen, our team at the console, requesting you all to please join us on stage. May I request our leaders to please join us on stage for a group photograph? Welcome. May I request Team ITP Media to please join us on stage?
Look at the world around us. There is someone making it more violent every day. We are Merino. Every time you fly to a different city, The airports now greet you brightly. We are partners of New India. The trust of a sports-frenzied nation. Together,